Tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio, dropping knowledge in the studio you already know.
Thank you for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. This is your boy Prince Hakeem.
And this is your man Ronnie Ron. Hakeem, what's happening? What is going on?
Hey, I'm excited. You feel me?
Yeah, I know I can see the smile on your face.
I'm excited. You know what I mean? It's never so often when we get one of our kings to get on the platform with us.
I already know, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Special moment to me because me and him was actually in the same class together.
Oh,
I was
hey.
like, wow, yeah.
And listen.
The same class when I was going for filming, yeah.
Same class with y'all, but here's this. He's family with my family because my family speaks highly of him. Yeah. Highly of him for years. And this is the first time I've ever spoken to him.
Yeah, and not only that, he's very humble. Love his energy. He's a go-getter. He's a hustler.
Let me tell you something.
Stay up for hours. I think he only get 30 minutes of sleep.
Listen, if you from Mattapatta, you beyond humble.
Yeah.
If you from Managua, you beyond humble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put some respect on that name, Nicaragua. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing. I want you to introduce him.
But this guy, like we say, this guy is very humble. He's very passionate. He's very hardworking. Man, the list goes on and on. I could be on here all day talking about this guy. Mm-hmm. He go by the name of Foreign Boy. And it was so great to have him on the show because he, like Hakeem said, he's like an alumni. He's like part of our group, part of our hood. And now we interview him. Foreign Boy is on the podcast today.
Basically.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's up?
What's happening? What's good?
Man, I'm blessed to be here, especially that I'm with family. So this is gonna be like sitting in a bench. You know what I'm saying?
Basically.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. So what's good with you? What's going on, man? What's popping?
Man, everything's good, man. I'm still working, still grinding, still trying to succeed and reach new obstacles in my career, in my life. You know, I'm a new father. This is my first time being a father.
Oh, congratulations, man!
Well.
Congratulations.
Hey, Forum. I remember when you got married to your beautiful wife. I liked your picture and say congratulations.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You know,
gorgeous woman.
Right. So you know we got a Nicaraguan Haitian baby now running around.
Listen, it's all family. That's why I put that out. I remember, we all one family. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
man, I'm just blessed to be here, man. Go ahead.
I'm blessed. We blessed to have you.
I want to ask you, Foreign Boy. As you know, how do you come up with the name Foreign Boy? What made you get that name Foreign Boy?
I'm gonna tell you, my inspiration for Foreign Boy was actually the Fugees, because I always felt like I was the fourth member of the Fugees. You know what I'm saying? Because I always like conscious music. I also like music that had a lot of content to it. So when I was I'm still a big Wyclef fan. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, what can I do to sound like I'm part of them? And then Foreign Boy came up.
Mm-hmm. I love the name.
Being from and being from Miami, I thought about like all the multicultures we have here, you know, either Dominican, Cuban, Haitian, Jamaican, and the list goes on and on. So I'm like, the only way I could feel like I'm part of the people is something that we all are part of, and we're all foreign. Like 95% of Miami feel like it's foreign.
100%. We all. When I heard that name, I told my cousin, I say, this somebody that has to be conscious about who he is as a person. When I heard you called yourself that, because it's like, no matter what it is, me, you, we all kids of immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean? My daddy came here on a boat, for real. You know what I'm saying? Was locked in Iron Nest jail for years until they let him out. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, I could fuck with somebody like that because he know who he is. You know what I mean? So I love that name. You know what I mean? As far as like creating that identity.
Right. And then there's another part of Foreign Boy. The other part was like, I'm only on earth until I get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only foreign here until I go back home. So that's my second reason I called myself Foreign Boy.
Yeah.
That's deep. And I recently heard you work with Slip and Slide Records. Is that correct?
Right. I work with Slip and Slide Records.
So how did that relationship started?
All right, so I'm gonna give you how this relationship started, and it started with this guy named Antoine Smith. He was shooting a movie called Fade Away in Overtown, and I asked for his number, and I kept blowing his phone. I'm like, "Yo, put me the next time you do a music video, put me on." And he's like, "Man, I don't got no budget to pay you." I said, "Listen, I'll pay you if you put me on." I did one job for free, and then he hooked me up with Slip and Slide.
That's what's up. So let me ask you a question. Is that, because what I wanted to ask you, was that your entrance into the shooting videos and making film?
That was not my entrance, but that was my way to expand out. So the guy named Antoine Smith actually put me with Super Cindy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started a podcast with Super Cindy and Trick Daddy called Famous and Uncensored.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually one day I'm like, man, who could I bring along to help me out? I also need a ride. And guess who I called?
Who?
I called Rodney.
Yeah.
He did. I told Hakeem that. I told him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I called him and we brought it along. Of course, it was short, but it was good. You know, it was definitely good. And from there on, I worked with Antoine, and he just put me on so many different music videos, like to the point right now where, you know, he put me on movie scenes where I help on movie casting, on, you know what I'm saying, when we're shooting movies. So this is the power of being humble and saying, yo, let me work for free.
You know,
So
that's
that
kind of
way,
thing about you mentioned work for free, because a lot of people have a hard time working for free, especially in our community, because we want to get compensated. Right. We want to get paid. So how long did it take you to get to that step of going to compensation, like them starting paying you?
Man, listen, it was a blessing because I worked for him for free one time, and from there on, he always paid me because he likes to pay people. He's not one of those like, let me just take advantage. I worked for free one time, and from there on, he always got me paid gigs. That's that, you know. But now we go back to the beginning. I got to go back to where, you know, the foundation began back home in Alapata.
Yeah,
so
speak on it.
That's where the foundation. So it's people like Double Bay, El Nugget, you know what I'm saying? Curse Gate. I can't forget these people. Because these people are the first people who say, yo, you do video, I rap, let's go make moves. And Double had me working, like, because I wasn't even like that great, you know what I'm saying? Like, which I really started working with FK, but right now he goes by Chief Wallace. You know, he's a positive rapper making some name. And then I got with Double Bay, and Double Bay was just working me. Like, hey, we got to shoot a video. We got to do this. We got to go here. We got to go there. And, you know, my foundation is based back home. I got a solid foundation. So it doesn't matter how big my, you know what I'm saying, how many floors my building has, my foundation got to be solid, or else it'll tumble and fall.
No, definitely.
So, yes.
So I wanted to ask you what challenges you face being in the film industry as far as like the video production.
Man, some of the challenges is still the pay. You know, people want to pay, you know, lowball you, like, man, I'll give you this, you know what I'm saying, for music video, but they don't know the time it takes to actually sit down and write what's going to happen in the video, how long the editing process is, what you have to actually spend. You know, like when we go to music videos, we could bring equipment from $10,000 up to $50,000 worth of equipment, up to $100,000 worth of equipment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to take that in perspective. Like when you go to a job and you're carrying around $20,000 worth of equipment or $10,000 worth of equipment, your budget's supposed to be higher.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what any job, like if you go to construction and you bring in your own tools, you get paid more. Can't bring a you know what I'm saying, one of those trailers and still get paid like the regular worker that got a hammer.
And my question is to you, what's your sleeping pattern? Because I know, especially being a video editor and a video, you know, photographer, it's kind of hard because it's a lack of sleep. Or do you get sleep?
Right. Listen, you know the rappers be like, man, I'm gonna sleep till I die. No, Jesus had to sleep. I need to sleep too. But it's very hard to sleep because at nighttime is where I edit. Daytime is where I shoot. In the middle of that is where I answer all my phone calls and have my meetings.
Wow.
So whenever I do get a chance to sleep, I'm sleeping. So, you know, sometimes I sleep on airplanes if I get, you know, if I fly out or we on a trip, man, sometimes that's the best sleep I get.
No, definitely. So, Foreign, how do you keep learning in this business that you're, as far as like, because for a lot of up and coming videographers, you know what I mean, they would want to ask you that question. How do you keep learning? How do you keep sharpening your skill?
Yes,
the way I always reach out. That's the best way. You know, people will tell you YouTube. YouTube is one way to learn and sharpen your skill, but you got to reach out to people around you that's doing the same thing. for instance, before I was filming, Ronnie actually had like a comedy soap opera on MySpace.
Yeah, The Way We Live.
And
yeah.
I remember I
For
was
Ray,
inboxing him, bothering him like, yo, the next time you do this, let me know. But unfortunately, at that time, he's like, oh man, we stopped doing it. So, and I loved it. Like Ronnie played like the hysterical, something's always wrong happening comedy. And his brother played the punchline. It doesn't matter what went on, he always had a punchline at the end. And I'll never forget that. I'm like, yo, this is amazing, you know? So I reached out to people like that. I saw he was going to school. I went to school just to see him. I said, I'm gonna find him in school. I found him in school and he's like, man, this is what I'm learning here. And then I went to that same school.
Yeah.
So you got to reach out. Remember, my foundation is what builds my building, you know what I'm saying? And was keep it steady.
Preach.
So you might think it's something small. Like, how many episodes, Ronnie, do you have on that soap opera comedy you had?
It was like 10 episodes. 10 episodes.
It was enough to grasp my attention and say, hey, I want in on this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And people don't understand. On Formboy, a lot of people don't understand. You start off with a small camera, no lens. You had no lens. And look at you now. That was amazing. It was a testimony, bro.
Listen, everything I did, I remember doing a green screen video with Main Event, and we bought construction green paper and just pasted on my walls. And every time I woke up with a headache because my room was green. But it was just how I came up. Like, I took everything small I had. I had the cheapest cameras, I had the cheapest equipment, and just kept building and building and building and building and building. But the support of my hometown and my neighborhood, they what kept me in motivation. They gave me motivation to keep thriving and continue to do what I do.
No, definitely. Now, I want to ask you a real tough question because, you know, a lot of people, when they get to a certain place, you know what I mean, we like to hear the shortcomings of getting in the business of following your passion. I want you to talk to the people on the podcast. What was your biggest failure in your career?
Man, my biggest failure was being too patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know God said, be patient. But let me explain. I put out a shirt called Alapata New Kings, right?
Which was fire.
Thank you.
Hey, I was never able. I tried to want to order when I ain't know where to find to get one.
I'm gonna get there. So what happened was I had the design 2 years, right? And for 2 years I never put it out. I was afraid because I was like, oh man, it's gonna fail. Nobody's gonna buy it. Yada yada yada. And here comes Double Bear again. You know what I'm saying? My foundation. That's why my foundation is back home. He's like, if you don't put it out, I'm gonna put it out for you and I'll pay for it. I don't care what it costs. I just want one shirt. So I'm like, I ain't gonna give nobody my product. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I did the shirt. I sold it. I made 20 shirts. I sold it in a week. But every time I sold that shirt, I tagged Cool J's on it. And then a month later, Cool J's gave me 5 stores. I had the New Kings for Alapata. I had the New Kings for Little Haiti, the New Kings for Lauderhill. I ain't never even been to Lauderhill. I got the New Kings for North Miami. Then I did the New Kings for Carroll City, and I did the New Kings for Miami Gardens, which is the same city, but different names. And they were calling me back to back. And the reason I said it was a failure because I didn't believe in myself.
What? But will you start doing it back again or no?
I do, but this time I kind of want to cut the middleman and just have the whole thing to myself, because when I was doing my shirts, I had to go to the shirt maker to do my shirt. It was taking too long, and I'm like, man, at this point in my career, I don't have time to just wait when you ready. You know what I'm saying? But I know I have that open door for the shirts, and right now I got designs after designs ready to come out. And the thing about my shirt, it was called New Kings because, coming from the neighborhood we from, we witness people die every day. We witness people sell drugs. We witness people strung out on drugs. So it was a pleasure because my shirt said New Kings, and next to it on Cool J's is a shirt that had, drug reference, and next to a shirt that had gun reference. And then my shirt was in the middle, and they put it in the front store, but it was a positive shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk to people, I call them kings, queens, because I want to uplift their spirits. So that's really what the shirt was about.
Yes.
No, I love that, brother. I really do.
Really dope. And I was gonna tell you, I want to ask you too, because recently you just did a music video, a shoot with Kodak Black, correct? And I want to ask you how it was. Go ahead.
Yes, I did the BTS for
the behind the scenes, so people can understand you're doing the behind the scenes. Yeah.
Right.
So how was that
behind
experience?
the scenes.
Yeah. How was that experience with that? With the behind the scenes?
It was great
with Kodak Black.
Oh man, I loved it. I really went with this guy named Damien Fife. He's a director and he directs a lot of big music videos. And I met him through Slip and Slide. And, sometimes Slip and Slide will hire him to shoot music videos. And Ted, the CEO of Slip and Slide, will be like, hey, I want you to shoot the BTS. And he always noticed the BTS and the behind the scenes. And he started hiring me for a lot of his behind the scenes. I did one with Tory Lanez, and unfortunately XXX wasn't in the song because he passed away, but I did the behind the scenes for that. And he called me to do the behind the scenes for Kodak Black. So my job was to film the process, but during the process, the PRs of Kodak Black was like, hey, we want you to film Kodak Black the whole entire time. So it was a blessing because I got to film him, ask him like, what inspired this song and him getting ready. And it was great because when I looked up, he put it up on his YouTube, his personal YouTube. And then the next day he put it up on his personal Instagram. So, stuff like this helps my catalog.
No, that's wonderful, man. You keep hustling, man. And I love that, man. I love you. One thing I always used to tell Ronnie, I say, your boy's a hustler because every year I see you ascend to a different place. Even the twins was talking about it. Now,
oh man, I love the twins.
No, hey man, listen, they love you, man, because the thing is, they always appreciate everything you did for them. Because one thing behind the scenes, you always come back and try to throw work back at them. Always.
I do.
Always.
I really do.
He do.
Listen,
he do.
And I used to get on them, and I say, man, yo, this man throwing y'all work, man. You better go work with that man. I say,
like he be showing them celebrities. I be like, Isaac, man, boy. I was like, man, I be like, Foreign boy don't be playing.
Foreign,
he hustle.
Foreign, to tell you I'm serious. You had told, I know you came them to commission them there to do some beats, and I had cussed their ass out, and I was like, you should have worked with that nigga. I said, why you sit around here waiting?
Listen, they my brothers. There's still always opportunities.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Always.
But they appreciate you. They appreciate you a lot, though. They always talk good about you. Now, my next question is this: you being such a hustler, but man, you're foreign like us, boy. So it ain't no choice but to be a hustler.
Right.
What keeps you up at night? You know what I'm saying? Like that motivation that keeps you grinding. What's that fire that keep you up at night?
Man, well, right now it's probably my daughter. You know what I'm saying? But previous to my daughter was always the lack of, man, I need to do more things. Like I couldn't, if I couldn't sleep, it's because I was creating something. Whenever I have that small spare time to myself, I create stuff for myself. Because at one point I was like, man, all I'm doing is creating content for this person, this company, and then I don't have nothing for myself. So that's what kept me up at night, knowing that every day is passing by and I don't have no content for myself, like the shirts or video projects that I want to do. And it still keeps me up at night because I don't have a movie yet. And my next goal is to shoot a movie. I don't have a sitcom yet. My next thing is to have my own sitcom, So this is what's keeping me up to this day at night, knowing that I need to find ways to continue my goals, not just helping everybody else out with their goals, which I love, but it's time for me. It's time for Foreign Boy to raise up and say, hey, you know what? This is my movie. This is my show. This is my sitcom. These are my content,
So what's next for Foreign Boy? What you got next planned up? Even though I know you say
I really want to start doing my own content. In fact, I want to start doing some content with Ryan Nelson, which I told me, you had an interview with him, and I was shocked.
Shout out to Ryan.
I want to start doing some content where I hooked up with another great director, videographer, and we just trying to start our own content.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It is.
Let me ask you a question. Foreign, is there a quote that maybe you probably read or somebody told you that you always reference back to as far as just trying to get in far in life?
Love changes, thug changes, and best friends become strangers. That's from Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it.
That's a quote I love and I understand it, because people you thought you was gonna grow with and build something, they ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying? So people ain't believing you. You know.
Mm.
So that's a quote that I love so much.
Okay.
He dropped the mic on that one.
He did. You did drop the mic on that one. Now I want to ask you a what if question. Now let's say Foreign Boy never picked up the camera. Let's say you ain't never picked up the camera. What other profession you think you could see yourself doing?
All right. Oh, that's a great question. Okay. So let me tell you how I picked up the camera. I feel like God always placed art, you know what I'm saying, in my life. Like I was good at drawing, everything that I was good at painting, anything that had to do artistically, I love. So I actually started doing music for fun, right? There's music out there, you know. I started engineering myself, so I know how to engineer. Maybe not the best because it's been a while, but I started engineering. I started charging people to come to my house and lay tracks. Then, you know, I was like, oh man, everybody kept asking me to do album covers, and I learned Photoshop. You know what I'm saying? I'm a beast at Photoshop the same way I'm a beast in videos.
Yeah.
Like,
you used to edit for models too. I remember you was using Photoshop.
Right. Like the shirts, I designed the shirts myself. You know, there's art covers out there I designed. So if I wasn't doing video, I would definitely probably be doing audio engineering right now.
So Foreign, just tell us about a time that you had a difficult time working with somebody in your field.
Oh, in my field.
Yeah, like you had a hard time. Like you know somebody, you be like, hey, do it this way, because I know you're very organized when you shoot the camera. Remember, I used to see you when you shoot the camera. You very like
my difficult time. I'm not gonna say the people's name, but I'm gonna say when I first started, I got with some young rappers, and they're like, you know, I'm like, all right, I'll do it for free just to learn, you know. But they you know, when they weren't happy with the work, I'm like, man, you know, it was just the rudeness, and I'm like, yo, I'm doing this for free, you know. 5-6 years later, I'm here, and y'all still don't got a video, or y'all still haven't had no content out there. So
that says a lot.
That right. You know, so that probably was the worst time, because I'm like, man, I'm trying to do it for free. I'm really not gaining too much out of it. I'm just trying to sharpen my skill, and the understanding wasn't there.
That's great you said that, because this segues into the next question. To this point, Foreign, everything that you learned, experience, and the knowledge that soaked up, what if you had a chance to speak to your day one self? What would you tell him? Out of everything you learn now, what do you have wished to tell your day one, the Foreign Boy from day one? What would you tell him?
Have no hesitation. Just continue. You know, hesitation really stopped me from a lot of things. Like, should I go ask them? You know, like the shirt situation I explained to you. Yeah. You know, when I'm in the room with somebody, I'm like, man, maybe I should go talk to them, and I don't talk to them, and then it takes a year later, and then we're talking. You know what I'm saying? Hesitation is very deadly, especially in this field, because content is king, and you got to continue to put out projects. And when you in a room with somebody that can help you out, go talk to them. The worst they can say is no, or stop talking to them. That ain't gonna kill you.
Foreign, I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm gonna be honest and say this. I suffer from imposter syndrome. So sometimes I think I could be doing something, and you know, us being Caribbean and being foreign, I sometimes think that I don't want to bother somebody by asking them something, because you know I'd be scared of the outcome. So I can
that was me too.
Yeah.
But guess what? Sometimes you don't know what the outcome might be if you don't try.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd rather be a no outcome, or like leave me alone outcome, than possibly that was a gold mine and I left it alone, you know?
Preach. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. At one point when Foreign was doing a podcast, he could tell you, I reached out to him and like, hey, what you want me to do?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Ron, I need a ride. I said, I don't have no problem. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all about the networking.
No. And
hey, listen,
he could tell you.
Facts. And so hesitation has to be eliminated from what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially in this field. Never be afraid. There's no dumb questions. There's no dumb answers. Everybody needs to learn. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts.
Everybody.
Facts.
I work with, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, even where I'm at, you know, Kodak was like, what you want me to do next? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Really?
So,
what? Really?
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah, he's like,
I love to hear that.
Yeah, I
so,
love to hear that.
It was humbling. And you know, like, you know, I'm when I met Kodak, he's like, hey, this guy, man, how you doing? You know, he was very, very nice. Very, you know what I'm saying? I got to talk to him, like, because they put us outside. We in like on Biscayne in like 62nd or something like that. I'm not too sure. And we're outside his trailer, just me and him. You know what I'm saying? So you never be afraid to ask things, you know.
Also, he shot the video down here. It wasn't in Atlanta.
He shot it in Miami.
Wow, that's cool, man. You see how King never be afraid, man. Go talk to that person.
No, definitely.
And listen, I used to have the same thing. Like, man, I don't want to say something. Like, you know, I met Super Cindy, you know, and now I work hand by hand with Super Cindy. Every time she wants something, she asks me. Every time I need something, I ask her. But it took me a while. Like, I'm afraid to ask her to help me out on this project. And man, listen, she had nothing but open hands for me. Like, when I got married, she hosted my wedding for free. She like, I would never charge her. I did. She just did it for me. You know what I'm saying? So it shows you, man. Sometimes you gotta be courageous and go and ask, go and find out.
And that's good you say that, man. But and be honest, in our community, for some reason, our community make us feel like when somebody get up to a certain place, it's like kind of like a disrespect to ask them for something or to ask them for help. And that's kind of the reason why a lot of us don't go past a certain level, because we scared to ask the people who we know or when we see somebody famous to do that. So it's great that you say that, you know what I mean, that your whole key point of life, which I think it's a Foreign Boy quote, don't hesitate.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean that's definitely true, man. Some people, man, you could ask them for help or knowledge and they just won't give it to you. But hey, then you move forward. You know what I'm saying? At least now you know not to waste your time that route.
No, definitely.
That route right there is a dead end. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna give no knowledge. They're not gonna help nobody, but at the end they lose because this game revolves and keep growing and growing and growing. And the more avenues you allow people to grow and learn, they'll always come back.
No fact.
Because Foreign, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like for our testimony, even for me and Hakeem, we interviewed D Woods on the show. It was very like surprising because everybody was like, "How do y'all reach out to?" We were like, we just went in and we just asked her, and she came on the show. Someone that big to come on this platform.
And let me tell you, when you help people out like that, you know what I'm saying? Those same people will help you out. And it continues like a Ferris wheel, just go in circles and circles, and it builds something. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all reached out to me because, and I'm not gonna say no, because in a month from now, in a year from now, this might be the biggest show, and I'm gonna be like, hey, I was one of the first ones.
Yeah, definitely.
You know I'm gonna be on my Soulja Boy vibe. I was the first videographer. You know what I'm saying?
No, that definitely. And you know, we had you in mind. And then we just wanted to see what was the right time, because we also know that you be busy. Because he always listen. He always say, "Man, we got to get Foreign Boy." I say, "Man, well, I would love to talk to him." I say, "Get with him and see when we can get him on the show." And you know what I mean? Because we definitely got to stick together as far as the basis of being family and coming from where we coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man. You know, I'm here. Ronnie, my brother, man. Like whatever he asks for, I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he told me that.
His brother, my brother.
I was like, you Hollywood. I said, Ronnie, I'm not Hollywood. You got my phone number. You can always call.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Hakeem, you my brother. You know what I'm saying? Your cousin's my brother.
Yeah.
You know, we all family, man. We all family. So, you know, like I need avenues like this.
Yeah.
For instance, like when I work with artists, they're like, man, and they come fly down to Miami or local artists, they're like, man, I need platforms. This is a platform I could bring them to.
Yep.
This is a platform they need to know how to use the correct way. Like, okay, if they put it on YouTube, you need to rip it, put it on your Instagram, continue to build what you're doing. Like, you know, everybody don't give interviews.
No.
Sometimes it's hard to get an interview. And this is a platform for rappers, movie directors, people who do clothes, makeup artists,
businesses.
Everybody, painters, you got businesses. This is the platform. And these little platforms will make my business more successful, because when people come to me, I want to be a one-stop shop. Like, hey, you want shirts? I got here. You need beats? The Twins. You need videographer, me and my crew. You need interviews, you know what I'm saying? Chaos Culture, you know, radio, you know, this is what we doing.
Yeah.
You got it. You hit that line good. You hit that line good for me.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because I want to, because that was a beautiful thing you said. Now I want everybody to know, because this is about you. What is what 3 people most influence you in your whole life?
Okay, man, it definitely has to be my mother, my wife, and through my wife I found Jesus Christ. So that's my number one right there.
With some respect.
So respect is definitely.
And she's a black woman as that. Black woman, guys.
Right. She's a queen.
Truly,
like when she met me, man, I was going to clubs, I was drinking, I was this and this, and she was just praying. I'm like, man, you prayed for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? But that is what made me a better person. You know what I'm saying? Like when I put out everything I do, I pray now. And it I'm not saying it's super successful, but it's somewhere that it probably would have never been without prayer. You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
And what
right,
does
so
that say?
Those are my those are my three big inspirations I have. You know what I'm saying?
Praise the Lord. I was gonna say, I mean to cut you off. What they say, all things is possible through Christ and through prayer.
Facts. That is true. 100% true.
Now, the next thing I wanted to ask you is, what is some common myths that people might get misconstrued about being a videographer? You know what I mean? Because I've always, been interested in it, but I used to think different things about it. What's some things that, since you being in a business, that a lot of people don't know that they might take that misconstrued?
Well, the biggest thing is when I work with artists, they're like, man, it shouldn't be that hard. You should have the video in 2 days. Man, listen, it does not take 2 days. You got to worry about the lighting. Everything matters. Like, they make it seem like it's easier than what it is. Like, even with this podcast we have here, oh man, it's easy. Okay, go reach out to people and see how many people say no. See how many people don't have time. See how many people cancel on you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
editing.
So the perception is like, it's just the video. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes could take a whole week to edit.
Yep, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't understand the backhand. They only see the front end. Like
they don't understand the back, Yeah. And especially when they're like, hey, can you do this all green? And then when the video's done, like, yeah, let's try red. I'm like, well, you gotta, you said green, then you gotta go back. So I think the biggest misperception is how easy it is. People look at like TikTok and Instagram videos and small content like that and think like, oh, they did this. It's simple. I said, man, that's an app with filters. This ain't an app with filters. This is an app with skills. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, listen, it like, I still got an episode. It's taking me 3 days to edit.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
3 days,
You know what I mean? So I could definitely feel you on that, which I think a lot of people
and that's 3 days editing. That's not even how long it took for you to decide to shoot it, decide what the content is going to be about, when you're going to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? There's more than 3 days. That's just the shooting part. That's just the editing part. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's one of the biggest myths. That's like, oh man, it's just, shoot, edit, done. Storyline, lighting, coloring, saying the placement, shock value. You got to think about all these things when you do a video.
Yeah. No.
See, people don't think about that. Like you said, they think of the easy work, of the success already.
Right. And then, when I shoot a video, I think because I want to see all my clients succeed. I think about marketing.
That's another big thing artists and a lot of these people do not think about.
I think about how the best way they could market it, where they could shop it to, what's the audience base. You know what I'm saying? So videographers don't have to do that, but the reason I do that, because like I said, I want to be a one-stop shop,
And that's really good. You very organized, very skilled. I always speak highly of you to everybody. I'm like, yo.
Oh man, thank you.
Because you like my inspiration. It was kind of funny because at first I was your inspiration. Look, now you became
my right. Hey. I was seeing the video, and listen, I always keep everything with family. I remember one time I had my computer damaged, and I called your brother to come fix my computer.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if he's still
He's I'm going to
right.
Yeah, and we need more of that, bro. Like what you're talking about, that we don't have too many of that. And I think sometimes it has to be, you see that with close-knit people. But what I try to tell brothers too, and anybody who's from the diaspora or anything, I say, hey, we can't complain about white boys and trying to compete with them if we don't stick together and build businesses together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly That's very important. It's a very, very vital sticking together. Like, you know, like when I did my shirt, man, you don't know how happy and joyful I was to walk down the street and see somebody I don't know wearing my shirt. Like, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, I used to go up to them and say, yo, let me take a picture with you. And it looked so crazy. They're like, yo, I don't even know you. I'm like, yo, I did that shirt. And, you know, I got a big frame with people who bought my shirts and tag it in. And Ronnie's up here too. There's a poster in my living room.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I'm on the phone. Like, I have.
Right. And listen, I reached out and I say, Ronnie, man, I got these shirts. Please put it on. But when you're done, please give it back. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know, I'm kind of taking. You know, I'm gonna pay for that shirt. Nah, because I need to make some more. I said, cool. No
yeah. Because I knew I was, you know, like I had a plan. I'm like, I'm gonna just, and I asked Double Bay. I asked my friends to come model for my shirt. Like, I kind of got models, but why? When there's people in my neighborhood that's trying to make it out in the entertaining business.
Yep.
You know. Right. So I looked at it as a win-win situation. Like, y'all help me out, I'm helping y'all out. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
And I'm gonna ask you too. This is a question I was gonna ask you because now you elevate yourself to a higher version of yourself. Have you seen like certain people you used to be close with starting to distance themselves from you, or y'all still all close together?
Man, you know what? I think we kept like real good respect. You know what I'm saying? I kept myself humble enough for, you know what I'm saying, where I don't ever want to think of myself like, oh man, I'm too big for this. You know what I'm saying? So so it, as far as the real family, no. You know what I'm saying? As the people that come and go, probably, but I don't even notice it because I know they're here one day and gone the other day. You know what I'm
saying? Okay, cool.
Definitely. Here's my question. I don't want to miss anything, so I'm gonna ask you a trick question.
Okay.
Farm boy, if you was in my shoes right now, what question would you ask yourself?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, I got to think about that one. So if I was in your shoes,
yep.
What question would I ask myself?
Yeah, what question? Yeah, if you was giving yourself an interview, if you was in the shoes that I'm in right now, what question do you think I missed? I should have asked you.
Maybe just, oh man, I don't know, because y'all did such a great job with the interview. I don't even know if y'all missed that much of a question. You know, y'all based based my beginnings, my middle, my ending. You know what I'm saying? My hard time. I don't know if y'all did such a good job. I can't even say that. Yeah, I missed the question.
So there's anything you think that you would want the people to know or hear? You know what I mean? That might be important to you, because you know sometimes we'll do an interview, people do interview, and there's probably a point that you probably want to get off, that you want people that solidify who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
So I ask those type of questions to see if we missed anything, because there is a message in everything, and you've been dropping jewels throughout the whole way. And I know there's a bigger message, which you said the bigger message. You know, you found Christ, which we all brothers of the faith here. And you know what I mean? And I didn't know if there was anything else that you wanted people to know, maybe advice.
Well, if there is something I could say, man, it's just, you know, this entertaining business, man, like, especially for like the artists out there, like, you see me, I play the background. Like, I'm a videographer. You guys are doing podcasts. So we're more open-minded than the actual artists.
Yeah.
I wish the artists need to be more open-minded. You know what I'm saying? Like if I could give anything out to the new artists coming up, man, be open-minded, man. Listen, I just worked with a kid named King Sid, and he has 1.6 million followers on YouTube, right?
Wow.
And it's nothing like working with music artists. They flew me out to Dallas, to Texas. And when we flew out to Texas, all the YouTubers flew out and they worked together. Like, hey, you got 1 million followers. I'm trying to get you 1 million followers. Even the 1 million followers, like, hey, you got 60,000 followers. I'm trying to get some of your 6, and they work together. But this urban community we work in, especially like with the rappers and stuff, it's so hard to get, you know, to work with them, because sometimes they might look at my videos and say, hey man, but you ain't working with Nas though, or look at this podcast and say, hey man, y'all ain't interviewing such and such though. And like, man, it's much more than that. Like, sometimes you need us to help build y'all. Sometimes we need y'all to help build us. And like, and that's where you say, like, you know, Black and Spanish people, sometimes we don't work together.
Yeah.
We definitely need to work more together.
Preach.
Definitely.
Preach.
It need to be a lot more easier. I'm not saying just work with everybody, but it need to be a lot more easier. a lot more easier because there's a lot of artists that feel like they're too big, and I'm like, you ain't that big, brother. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're definitely right about that. And not to mention no names, I think that kind of, for me personally, it kind of left a foul taste in my mouth in a sense, because Miami has this cliquish, circle-driven type mentality where it's kind of hard for us to do what Atlanta does. Atlanta works with everybody. You feel me? Don't matter where you come from. You could be from whatever part of Atlanta, they're going to do a song with you. Sometimes these guys don't even charge people to do songs. And I love the fact that you mentioned the YouTuber, because I think I seen the video you posted where he posted you, and he was crediting your work or how amazing you was. I don't even see dudes do that here, praising people.
Right, and you know, the thing is, he called me like, I'm going to put on my main page. Now, no, the main page got 1.6 million followers, right?
Yeah.
And I think within the first 10 hours it had like 100,000 views. You know what I'm saying?
You see?
Wow. And it's good because your business
you know what I'm saying?
Working together.
And I don't get this with artists. Artists are more like, man, it's all about me. Don't post it on your YouTube page. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, man, like we're both trying to win.
No, because you gotta understand, it's a lot of ego. There's a lot of ego involved when it comes to artists. And not only that, there's a lot of fear too, because they're like, if I work with him, then I might get canceled. He might be bigger than me. That's why it's all like double standard when it comes to artists. But you make a good, powerful point, and I love it.
Definitely.
I love it.
Right. To the point where I was like, man, I need to work with more YouTubers because this was a lot better. It almost felt like, you know, right. And I was like, man.
The fact that they flew you out there and then treated you like a king, which is
right. Like,
you know what? Let me tell you this, right? I reached out to him and I said, yo, because I liked his movement and he's young. He's like 21, 22, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is where the new youth is going anyway, so I got to continue to grow with the new youth. Yeah. I reached out. I said, hey, listen, and I ain't done this in a long time. I said, let me shoot some content free of charge, right? And he flew me out. And he still end up paying me anyways.
Wow. People,
you know what I'm saying?
Foreign Boy been saying this the whole podcast. He's did stuff for free. Most of the gurus would tell you, if you're serious about your profession, do it for free. Eventually, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Right. And people don't understand, sometimes relationships are more valuable than cash.
Preach.
You know, because sometimes, like, imagine right now, I got this relationship with you guys. I can bring artists here. You know what I'm saying? They come back hey, man, if you want a one-stop shop, you need this, that, and the third. So these relationships make it easier. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, funny you said that. I was just talking to Ronnie a week ago. I said, and this is how this works when you talk about family. I said, Ronnie, I'm about my camera and we're going to start. I said, we're going to go holler at Foreign Boy so he can tell us what to do. I'm not going to check nobody out.
I'm ready.
And listen, but look how I was thinking. I said, well, I'm going to go talk to somebody outside of this circle. I say, hey, when we get this, we're going to go holler at Foreign Boy. We're going to ask him what we need to do to help us, what we can do. And that's what it's all about, bro. I love what you just said. That really touches me because we don't practice the type of unity that needs to put Miami to another level. I'm going to say that again.
Right.
Miami.
Whenever you buy it and you're ready, I'm here.
Listen, Foreign Boy, you hear this from me. I'm ready to do free work for you if you need me to. For real, me and Ronnie. Because listen, we're still students. One hand washes the other. We have to help each other.
Right.
At the end of the day, if all of us get to where we need to go, and Jay-Z said this in his rap, we can all be each other's crutches.
Right, we can. We definitely can.
You know what I mean?
Definitely can.
And not to disrespect any rappers in Miami or any media person, and I just need to say this. A lot of us out here in Florida and Miami, we can't complain about Broward, West Palm, Jacksonville. We don't practice unity here. Everybody wants King Dingaling. That's the issue I got with Miami.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Everybody want to practice King Dingaling, and you have to just humble yourself. You have to be a student and an Indian. That's all I got to say on that. You know what I'm saying?
Now that Foreign Boy, my last question is, where do people can find you?
Yeah.
Where they can subscribe to you? Where can they go? Because I know
where they can hear you. Yep.
They're like, yo, I want to go on his page and see what work he has done. Go ahead.
Right. So definitely I'll say hit my Instagram, which is foreign_boy. Because when it comes to YouTube, my work is scattered everywhere. So definitely hit me on my Instagram. Run them numbers up, please.
Okay, now definitely. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And man, it's been a blessing to talk to you, brother.
Man, it's a blessing for me too.
Pleasure. Any last remarks on Foreign Boy before we close out?
Hey, listen, man. We rocking with Culture, Chaos Culture Radio, man. The number one new radio station out here.
Basically, let's get it.
I love to hear that.
Boy Entertainment.
Yeah. Hakeem, you already know. That being said, Chaos Culture Radio.
We out.
Peace.
We out.
Peace. Man, I just appreciate y'all just listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.